Digitization has been the buzzword for the market. One sector that's doing extremely well, whether COVID, not COVID, has been the adoption of digital across the industry, across various spectrum, wherever you want to see in India or abroad. But one such sector where digital adoption has been very, very high has been capital goods and infrastructure. And clearly, this is one sector where digital adopted, the sort of efficiency this has done has completely been underappreciated. In fact, a lot of people don't even know that in capital goods, it's probably one of the best things that has happened of late is being the adoption of digital. Today, we have a panel where we will discuss how digitalization of city distribution gas is a must. It will improve efficiency across the sector. It will lead to a lot of data generation, which will help in better distribution of gas ahead. But before we go panel, let's go across to Bharat Kaushal, MD of Hitachi India, will set up the class, give a keynote address. So over to you, Bharat. Set it up for us.
Thank you very much. I think India is in an accelerated mode of transformation, as you rightly said, aiming towards enhancing the social, environmental, and economic value of its citizens. And the government has already started rapid structural reforms to bring about a quantum leap in industrial and infrastructure development activities, emphasizing upon reducing the environment burden. And India is advancing briskly to make this a reality. So conventional source of energy is contributing to high emissions, impacting the nature and the environment. And with the green, clean energy being recognized as alternates, natural gas is seen as one of the key contributors for supporting this expeditious metamorphosis. As an outcome, the demand for natural gas is expected to grow exponentially. I mean, the CAGR is about 6.8% forecasted by industry groups under the Vision 2030 Natural Gas Infrastructure in India report. But this arduous task has paved way for creating an efficient gas distribution network to complement the demand of the incessant domestic, commercial, and industrial sectors. City gas distribution network has witnessed a quantum leap, almost to about 228 geographical areas, bringing under the umbrella approximately 70% of India's population. The present share of natural gas in energy domain is capped at 6.2%, I think, with government envisioning to increase it to 15% by 2030. And Prime Minister Modi's vision of one nation, one gas grid under the flagship initiative of building an Atmanirbhar Bharat will witness a plethora of opportunities for collaborative co-creation, making this dream a reality. A gas-based economy will also usher in a new ecosystem that facilitates sustainable industrial and economic growth, generates employment opportunities for youth, and enhances the quality of life of millions of citizens. Technologically advanced companies can partner with government through creating a robust digital platform that would enable digitalization of geographically widespread city gas distribution networks, aiming at progressing towards creating a human-centric society by amalgamating OT and IT technology solutions into a seamless framework. Hitachi in India has been playing a vital role in this digital transformation through its cutting-edge OT and IT solutions. And we are leveraging this expertise to contrive an IoT-enabled Lumada platform for comprehensive digital solutions. Through collaborating with stakeholders, strengthening city gas distribution network, enhancing India's transition into a gas-based economy. And with more than 8 decades of flourishing partnership and collaboration with India, Hitachi is leading the transformation of the nation by offering social innovation business solutions across varied business framework. I mean, be it railway or infrastructure, city gas distribution, IT, e-education, payments, healthcare, agriculture. So I'm sure today's discussion on how all of us can cohesively and collectively contribute in working towards building a low carbon footprint nation will set the foundation for a sustainable future. And I wish all success uh, to this, and looking forward to an engaging discussion today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bharat Kaushal, for telling us about why digitization of city gas distribution is important. We'll take it ahead now with our esteemed panel, Dr. B.S. Negi, former director of PNGRB, and Mr. A.K. Jana, managing director at IGL, S.C. Gupta, joint advisor at PNGRB, Amit Gupta, VP Hitachi India, and Sunil Chaturvedi now join us to take this discussion ahead. Let me start with you, Sunil, first. Last year, Prime Minister clearly announced that the target is one nation, one gas grid. Any thoughts on how this can be achieved faster or in a better way by digitization of city gas distribution?
If we look at India's cities today, and by 2030, we are talking about 40% of India living in urban areas. Most of the cities are suffering from acute pollution load. And it is in this context that the government's vision of creating a very strong gas economy, which is embedded hydrogen manufacturing infrastructure, is a welcome step. In fact, the Prime Minister has spoken about well to wheels smart grid. It's need of the hour. Our experience of last 50 years in city gas distribution and oil and gas sector has been that quite often we take city gas distribution as only a marketing network. It doesn't remain so anymore. It has become very complex uh, upstream, downstream, and midstream ensemble of activities. And therefore, from the well to wheels, smartness in terms of grid and in terms of every equipment or the process which is embedded into it has to be achieved. Uh, Today, we are having across our cities about 2,500 CNG stations. By the turn of the decade, we are likely to have about 10,000, and after that, 5,000 more of biogas stations. So we're talking about 15,000 gas distribution centers with three nozzles at each, 45,000 nozzles. Uh, and the need for maintaining public safety, need for controlling fugitive methane, raw methane emissions, and the need for making sure that it is every ounce of gas which is utilized is smartly metered, and the whole network works as a seamless, digitized infrastructure. Embedded therein are also, needs for predictive maintenance of the equipment, reliability of the equipment, and making sure that we receive optimum efficiency across the network. Uh, it's very, very important that uh, every aspect of this network, therefore, is digitized. We are very happy to be partnering with Hitachi across the board for various solutions that they provide. Uh, it, 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 while at the equipment level, our company and many of the industry companies are making, let's say, compressor packages which are very, very smart. Dozens of sensors sit inside. We make sure that from a remote position, our customers and us, we are able to monitor efficiency of the system. But then the question is creating network which is completely smart. And that's where Hitachi is helping us a great deal. I'm sure in times ahead, we will see this entire grid fairly smart, which will become a need of the hour for, making sure that the efficient uh, system helps the country realize the worth of all the investment that the country is making into entire infrastructure.
Right, Mr. Gupta, let me come to you now. What do you think about this? How important is it to get city gas distribution digitized? And do you foresee any challenges? Because right now it only limited to top six, seven urban cities.
If I would like to first add one nation, one grid. When Prime Minister spoke about and the Finance Minister spoke about the one nation, one grid, the principal concept remains that whenever gas is to be supplied, it has to be available at each nook and corner of the country. So by doing that, you need to have system natural gas pipeline grid, which can transfer the gas from the port or wherever gas is being produced to the respective locations across the country. We already have around 17,000 kilometers of pipeline which is operational. Another 15,000 of pipeline has been authorized by PNGRB to make it a grid. But we have also undertaken a larger study of development of national gas grid. This is where one nation, one grid comes into the picture. And that study is being done through international consultants, and a lot of inputs are going into that. The purpose behind that study is whatever grid we are developing, it has to be a very efficient and optimal grid. Because ultimately, what matters for the consumer in India is the cost. So demand is related to the affordable price, at what price the demand is there. So accordingly, that grid is getting developed. So we have a plan that we have already, as many earlier speakers have also spoken, that we have already authorized around 70% of the country's population will have access to the natural gas, then another 53% of the area. But we have future plans that while not full India is authorized, wherein each and every area is authorized and people have the availability of the gas. Now, back end is we have the natural gas grid which is in place, for which we are working very hard, and then to transfer that gas from ports, efficient mechanism. Now, for city gas distribution also, if we come to the city gas distribution, the other things which are required is the transportation tariff of the network. It should be less. The whole nation, one grid. We have seen now in India also, we have seen in telecom. There is a one nation, one call grid. So same thing in the natural gas pipeline network also is being sorted. We have already hosted our revised regulation, which talk about unified tariff. So one nation, one tariff kind of thing. So infrastructure cost is being minimized even for the distant customers. So this is the way we are taking the natural gas grid to each and every place, and also authorizing more and more. We have in plan more and more city gas distribution networks, so that it is available to each and every. And to further bring in reform and transparency into the system, PNGRB has also undertaken and authorized the gas distribution. So that gas is also available at a price which is transparent in it. If you combine all these things at one place, you will find that by authorizing, we are looking at what is the mode of transportation. First mode of transportation is the natural gas pipeline. Then PNGRB is also thinking along the other mode of transportation, that is through virtual pipeline. For the LNG mechanism, we have already made the LNG as independent of city gas distribution. So anyone can set up the LNG and supply. This is the way we are trying to strengthen this system and also provide gas to each and every person of this country. That is the objective for which. Now I'll come to the digital technology in this, how digital technology can play. This whole system needs to be integrated. Once you integrate it through the technology, you can achieve the cost optimization and also customer satisfaction, which is very important. Today, when I am talking about the pipeline, the availability of that capacity of pipeline should be available in a very transparent manner, and access should be easy for each and every person. For that, we are in the process of developing gas access bulletin board, where the information with respect to the pipeline available capacity will be available on a screen, and these pipelines are to be interconnected with a software or digital technology so that they can talk to each other, and this consolidated details are available on a single platform. This is where we expect the digital technology has to play a major role. And if we come down to the city gas distribution, as we said, the customer expectations are going high, the response time is getting reduced, and this is where the technology plays a major role. When I say customer satisfaction, customer expects today that whatever is happening is known to them. The response time to their queries, whatever their concerns are there, should be very less. The project execution for the end, where the digital technology has a lot of role to play, that it is being done in time, it can be monitored, and a consolidated screen is available at the level where it is required. This is what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Mr. Jana, from IGL perspective, can you just talk to us about how important is digitization of city gas distribution networks? What sort of benefit, does this have in terms of operational efficiency? Maybe any challenges as well do you see in implementation of this?
Digitization, it is not only important for us, it has become essential for us for ease of doing business. Now, CGT business, we need to understand what is CGT services. It has now become omnipresent everywhere. It is touching our life in many known and unknown manners. If I take an example, the morning you have to have a cup of tea. Who makes the tea? It is the natural gas. IGL is supplying you. You are making the cup of tea. If you have to go to the office, you have to catch a taxi. The CNG is driving you to your office. And if you have to go to a restaurant for the food, no, it is again the food is being cooked by the IGL gas, natural gas. At the same time, if you are using any product that is also being produced by the industry using the pollution free and most efficient fuel, that is the natural gas is being used everywhere in the industry, which will improve the quality of life, quality of the product, and CGD is other side. If you see that it is a B2C, the business to the end customer, it is a customer retail business sector connecting huge number of customers, be it a domestic, commercial, industrial, and auto sector. Right. And the market, we have been protected, some interest has been protected by the regulations so as to build these infrastructures with the exclusivity for marketing as well as the infrastructure initially.
Right. That brings us to our first poll question for the audiences. So the question is, do you think Budget 2021 has given enough boost to the usage of digital technology for CGD in India? Yes or no is the answer that you can take. When we just talk about challenges that are there. So first challenge, of course, is government has been looking to increase allocation, but somehow investments are always lagging versus what the intentions are across the board. So how do you see challenges? First, of course, is it requires great investment. Second, of course, is the benefit the allocation that we will do, and then in which geographies the limited investments should be done. So what are some of the key challenges that you foresee before this entire digital step is, is is what it is currently being done?
I think the government has set its priorities very clear on the city gas. By even in the new budget, if you see there are 100 more cities which are allocated for this particular city gas distribution. As far as the budgets are concerned, yes, now as we see in PNGRB bidding, more and more private partners or companies are investing, and we have some global companies also coming in who are investing into the city gas networks. So I feel that this is going to be really an area of the future wherein digital is going to play a key role in optimizing the infrastructure and bridging the gap between the customer expectation and also the the, the low margins or the margins on which city gas companies operate due to regulations. And as far as the challenges are concerned, as all our esteemed panelists have pointed out, the challenges more lie on the implementation and driving innovative local solutions to cater to our own market here in India. What I always say is that it's the global experiences and the local implementation and local solutions which will help to create a unique digital infrastructure for us. Because we are used to having legacy systems, connectivity issues, and other things which are uh, very Indian centric issues. So I would say that yes, we have a challenge, but we can overcome. And as far as the government push is there, we see a big push from the government towards city gas distribution.
Dr. Negi, let me come to you now. When we just talk about urban population, as even our earlier guest said, that more than 35-40% of the country's population will reside in urban areas maybe by 2030. That is the estimates. How will technological solutions help to meet more efficiency of the growing demand, optimizing the current resources that we have in the gas, to supply gas?
Yeah. First of all, let me thank Hitachi Technologies for organizing this webinar or interaction very timely with Times Now group. Interestingly, this is the call of the day. This is what is required in the India. If you see the growth of CGD in India, it started with a late early 90s, and it has come across all the phases of the technological growth. From 1992 to 2000, there were hardly any connectivity available for the city gas companies to monitor remotely. And then slowly we started using the control rooms and smart meters, and ultimately now we have in our disposal a lot of technologies which can we have mass balancing or GPS modeling or digital things. So many new technologies as have been described. So this is good opportunity for the city gas company to adopt those technologies. If you see today, now the city gas network, which is emerging as a distribution network from the primary transmission network, the transmission network existing today is almost 17,000 kilometers, and another 15,000 kilometers to be added on as after it has been authorized. So 34,000 kilometers of pipeline. Then we'll have the regional network and the city gas distribution. Today, if you see, I'm excluding the progress of ninth and 10th round, which has seen the asymptotic growth in city gas. We have about almost 73,000 inch kilometer of pipeline spread over the almost 50% area of the country, and then MDPs on 1,89,000 inch kilometer. We have PNG connection up to 70 lakhs, and CNG today almost 25,000, spreading about 50% area and almost 70% of the population. It's huge actually. And if you see what will come after concluding of this ninth and 10th line execution, it is going to have almost 5 crores of PNG connection, and CNG will be more than 10,000 number. So if you really want to efficiently control this kind of operation, with respect to three main objectives which you have, the safety one, because the city gas is enabling the supply of gas to each and every household, and it has to pass through so many congested area, very high density area. So we have to have the safety. One issue very important, for which you need the system like IMS, integrity management system, electronic surveillance system, so many other new technologies which are available now. Second aspect is business growth. Now the people have come up with a lot of investment. It's a huge investment required for city gas distribution. So then they need to have a return on investment. So they need to have a business model. So with the efficient modeling of their own system, right from starting of the construction, then operation, it has to be digitalized now, because that gives you a confidence for securing and also making good business model. What I mean by in your let's say construction phase, so many places one CGD entity is having a job. So if you want to really see the quality control and the data management from them, there are modules now available like track and trace, we call it. The people work at different places, maybe in Bihar, maybe Jharkhand, maybe Bombay, and you can monitor in Delhi. So that kind of packages are available now, and then you can see what is the depth of your pipeline, and you can also see what is the welding category is going on from those quality. So you can have both quality check, you can have the GPS modeling, and you can have a digital pipe book. In future, if you want to see where is the location, if there is a problem, you can go there and point within, let's say, less than 1 meter accuracy. You can be there. So this is one area where I think in the construction, in operation maintenance, you have to have the maintenance of the pipeline system, the ILI system, that online inspection, CP monitoring, and RFID tagging. As you say, one nation, one kid, and one smooth flow of the CNG vehicles. Now, CNG vehicles, which will be throughout India, will have to have a seamless flow from one CGD entities to another CGD entities. So they must have the filling opportunity also, and safety. So there is a RFID tagging system where we can see that all safety precautions in the vehicles have been are there too, and you can go and any filling station and fill it up. This kind of thing can happen in the operation. Then what I want interested is that in IMS there are a lot of module available. There is a challenge to companies like Hitachi or any other company coming up. We must to have a performance-based IMS measurement where you can assess the hazard from particular activity, then associate the risk with a frequency available with the experience, because Indian context is different than European context. So I was searching for such a good model which could be, I will still call it a performance based, not a just assessment basis. It has to be a not prescribed basis. So that is one area where I feel we must go for digitization. Now come on, how it will help. The maximum benefit which it can accrue are many folds, but the gas balancing as to where the gas is getting lost, if there is any measuring problem, is there any malpractices, is there any other discharge of the atmosphere where you are having a lot of problem with methane exhaust. So we have seen, if you see the global study, almost 81% plus the gas is having error in measurement. So one area where we can focus the accuracy of measurement instrument, also whether it is operating within the range of the instrument or it has got an inbuilt perennial problem, that can also be identified. Then we can have the leak detection module, then you can see the theft, and finally the system accuracy. Then billing, the advanced technology of prepaid metering or smart meters will generate revenue for the company rather than 15 days long time billing. You can have money beforehand, then adjust it against the consumption of gas. We call it smart meter or prepaid meters. This could be another good thing. Then it can also be utilized as to what is happening in the equipment performance. Supposing it's a pipeline or you have some station running equipments or compressors, you can also identify which of the compressor is good running, where it is not running good. So those kind of assessment of the performance of the equipment can also be done.
Mr. Jana, when we just talk about the data that you will get out of this digitization, say where is the peak hour, where essentially are you seeing more sort of infrastructure building in? What is the sense that you get? How will operational efficiency improve? Also, an important aspect of safety because of which digitization can actually help in. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, how it can improve the efficiency, little bit I have discussed earlier. Today, while we are doing operations, we gathered many data now, which is a very crucial insights. It gives us the crucial insights about the customer's behavior, trend, and preferences. Today, the data, you can say it is the new oil. It gives us a huge potential for doing business as well as making helping us to do the ease of business also. Enterprises can monitor each customer, what is their need. Accordingly, you can give them the services. I can give you the example like the customer, they can do the self-billing, they can make the payment, online request they can generate. At the same time, it gives us, this platform gives us, we can provide a bundle services to the customer, those who are using utilities, like you may be using the gas, water, and electricity. The bill can be combined for all these three put together. The same platform can be used and create the bill. Then while talking about the safety, you just think on it, city gas distribution, basically, you are putting the city on a floating of gas network, which is a concerns of every city gas entities. How do I protect the safety of the individual as well as my assets? Managing an enormous project is being executed. The assets integrity can be managed better way by using digital platform. At the same time, when you are executing the projects, you are required to work at various locations, around 100, 200 locations you would be working at a time. And it requires the work permit. The online work permit system has enabled us that the work is to be carried out in a safe manner by having the work permit precautions to be taken. Everything would be coming on that online system. At the second time, after laying the line, when you are, I'm having more than 15,000 kilometer network in Delhi NCR city, and more than 560 CNG stations we are operating. We are having the Mantech integrated safety system, When people are moving along the pipeline to take the feedback, anything is going unwanted, some work is being executed on my pipeline, everything is real-time data being captured through this digital platform, and we can directly communicate any individual. Those who are, we have a very huge patrolling mechanism. People are going by foot patrolling as well as the bike patrolling. They are moving all along the, everything is driven by the GPS, you know. So at the same time, our high pressure network, the steel network, we have a SCADA system. If something goes wrong, I'll be able to close the valve from, so as to from the control room using the SCADA system. And we are now in the process of implementing, converting the manual meter to the smart meter, which not only help to raise the bill automatically, at the same time, if something goes wrong, I'll be able to close the valves. The kitchen, which is installed inside the kitchen, the valve can be closed from my control room also. It is inbuilt with the meter.
Right. Sunil, why don't you take it forward from here on? Say we have a widespread digital city gas distribution. What sort of data access does one get? How does it help to improve efficiencies? Any other challenges that you see? Because when you just look at the urban areas so far, the population will need digital solution across demand or efficiently allocate all the resources.
So I think as the city gas distribution is spreading across cities and in areas which are, let's say, on the outskirts of cities, in terms of technology, I don't think there are significant challenges anymore. There are revolutions happening within India. There are innovations which are happening within India. As Mr. Gupta also mentioned, that global experiences, global technologies, and local implementation with local inputs given in that. Uh, there was a time when we used to have difficulty about connectivity because the GPS, GPRS network was not available everywhere. I think now there are narrow band connectivity technologies available, platforms available in India through which you can connect any capital equipment from any location into your main grid. Uh, I think it's very, very important that we understand the importance of uh, packages of digitization will not help. What will help, however, is a complete digitized network from end to end. Then only the system's efficiency will start to emerge. I think the government's focus on making a very strong gas economy in the country and ensuring that the pipeline system from, as the Prime Minister mentioned, from where to wheel, a smart grid, I think it conjures up an image of large scale use of technology, and it is happening. I don't see any challenge in that going forward. It's just a pace of implementation, and Mr. Gupta also said earlier. I think I agree. Yes, that's what would be the limiting factor.
Right, Mr. S.C. Gupta, why don't you take it ahead? When we just look at modernizing, enabling more service solutions, do you think more technology partners will be needed, more innovations even on technology will be needed? They'll play a very vital role in this vision of gas grid infrastructure.
To me, technology is vital to any system, whether it is gas distribution or any other distribution in the country. If you look at how the technology has played a major role in electricity distribution itself, you will observe that with the use of technology today, each and every customer gets on their mobile about everything with respect to their connection. The entities have the full complete information about their infrastructure. So similarly for the city gas distribution customer also, all this information is available to them at press of a button. Entity on the back end has the complete information available. As Mr. Negi has clearly pointed out, that what are the important parameters for this? One is the project execution operation and its reliability, and second is the safety. In case anything happens, the technology can play a vital role. If I take a very small example, if some incident happens at a particular customer's place, how much time it takes that entity is informed about that incident, what is the reaction time of that incident. So the moment it goes into the digital technology, immediately it is informed to the entity. The concerned entity immediately informs to its response team, which is nearest to that particular customer, and that response team immediately takes the action. So whole system through technology is transferred in a seamless manner and without taking any time. So automatically the customer, the incident can be prevented. Similarly, if we take the precautions with respect to the project execution, these things will help in equally good manner because it reduces your cost. The action taken time with respect to a project monitoring, with various action project execution stage also. Come to the CNG station, the data analytics, which customer has come to you, how many customers are coming to you, whether they have the specified cylinders fitted in their vehicle or not. All these are available through technology. So time is saved and technology also ensures the safety part with respect to that particular vehicle is also taken care of or not. Now, as far as look at this, how the government is focusing on the distribution mechanism, government is providing support for laying the pipeline. Wherever government is observing that pipelines are not viable, government is providing support through viability gap funding. So the focus of the government is very clear that this gas has to reach to each and every place. And secondly, with through PNGRB, we are authorizing each and every geographical area to take care of further systems. We are also developing the regulations which take care of the safety, integrity, the other requirements with respect to ensuring that these networks operate in a very efficient and optimal manner so that customer is benefited at the end. And I personally feel that technology has a key role to play to ensure the cost of the overall system of transferring gas from one end to another end is reduced. And once we use the technology, we reduce many unwanted activities in between. We reduce the response time, and that finally reduces the cost of it. Besides the other benefits of safety, reliability, and all.
Right. That brings us to our next poll question again for the audience. And the question is: will digitization of city gas distribution network help in increasing operational efficiency? Is that a yes or a no? Well, let's go ahead and move forward now. So, you know, Dr. Negi, when we just talk about the data that we will get, how will it actually help to improve efficiency? Say if there is, we know when the peak hour is, or when essentially the peak usage of gas is, or when it is not, or which season it is higher or lower. How will this help us to improve efficiencies going ahead?
See, there are basically three aspects of this efficiency increase and benefit. One that I just said, if you have a mass balancing system application employed in the city gas, your losses due to measurement theft or due to unaccounted gas for any other region are going to be decreased. This is one direct benefit we have got from the application of digital technology. Second, as you can have a performance parameter of each and every equipment monitored, then which of the equipment is performing better in efficiency wise, you run it for more time and go for maintenance of those equipments which are not performing that well in efficiency wise. So you save there also. Is another issue. Third, now instead of going here and there, if you have got the data available to you in regard to pipeline access, if there is any problem going on, you are having confidence. Yes, at such and such place, at such and such location, I have this problem. So you go there, attend the problem, and come back. This is another issues. This technology which has now come up with the participation of companies like Hitachi and others, it has got a very good operating system and also a platform which gives you confidence. Otherwise, we had this kind of application software way back in 1987-88, but they were working on microwave. They switched on to OFC cable data, but the performance of software was not that up to date, and there was no confidence of the user that this will work. Now, the kind of platform, digital platform is available here. The efficiency is going to increase and acceptability
Right.
of the user is going to increase. One more thing I want to add on here. The question is now, if you have
Right.
to bring everybody at par probably you have to bring up those old CGD companies also to use the digital technology. It is actually very good point to note. Many of such companies have started making digital pipe book now. They are going a little late, but they have adopted. So the only thing is, my suggestion to Hitachi and others is that the cost reduction, actually, when there is a competition, going good R&D, going good work, acceptability, more modulars being bought, the cost will come down, and therefore the acceptability of the city gas entities will be more. That's what I want to suggest to them. Uh, have a reasonable costing, and definitely to have more adaptability.
Right. Amit, why don't you take it forward from here on? When we get this data, how will efficiency actually go ahead and increase? Also, what sort of measures will this lead to better safety as well? I mean, safety is also one thing that everyone is looking at. So, one is efficiency, and can you also, give some more perspective on how it will be safer and better to use digital technology?
First is how does it improve the efficiency? When you have a real-time access to the geographically distributed assets, city gas distribution in a central control room, it will help you to visualize the complete network, and with the cloud computing, IoT, and our Lumada platform and big data analysis, you will be able to draw out the various gaps, the leaks, and the improvement areas. So that brings you to the operational efficiency. Second part is the demand. How does the demand vary? When does it vary? So demand supply balance will be very critically achieved by a high-end digital network, which leads to a improvement in the cash flow. The third is a complete digital infrastructure, as Sir said, from well to the wheel. When payment services are integrated, then you get a complete citizen-centric digital network, wherein all the stakeholders, when it comes to the operator, they get benefited in terms of increased operational efficiency. When it comes to the consumer, he gets benefited in terms of convenience and also in terms of safety, because this pipe gas is far safer than the bottle gas, bottle one. So this is how it helps. And the second part of the question was regarding safety. See, when you have more possibility of a remote operation, then where the safety lies. There is a mishappening. Mishappening could be anything. Mishappening could be a leak. Mishappening could, this city gas networks are a high energy networks. They will be targeted by to cause any kind of a disruption in our network. So that can be isolated immediately, remotely, based on an input from the authorities. Plus, we also have uh, uh, backup centers in case you have an earthquake, a complete building is destroyed. All this is, the data can be backed up somewhere. So this disaster management will be hugely benefited once you have the complete digitization of city gas network is done, because of quick isolation and also having backup of the data.
This brings us to a poll question for the audience, and the question is: how do you think that citizen centric digital infrastructure will help the growth of city gas distribution sector in India? Will it increase operational efficiency, better monetization of asset, or consumer convenience? Is what it will actually increase. With that, it's an end to the discussion that we've had. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out time for us. Dr. Negi, Mr. A.K. Jana of IGL, S.C. Gupta, Joint Advisor at PNGRB, Amit Gupta from Hitachi, as well as Sunil Chaturvedi. Thank you so much for taking out time and telling us more about digitization of city gas distribution.